Acai Cleanse and Low Testosterone in Men, by Eric S. www.acaicolon.net. I am a 42-year-old man. About 8 years ago I started to feel FF. I had no energy or motivation to do anything. I had always been a very sexual person, and when I no longer had early morning erections, I knew something was wrong. I went to an endocrinologist. That doctor did a bunch of tests and found that my testosterone levels were way below normal levels. He told me that I had pituitary hypogonadism. My pituitary gland shut down and stopped sending signals to my testes to produce testosterone. The drive put me on testosterone, on injection once every 2 weeks. I stayed on testosterone for many years. I started to develop another issue. My hematocrit level began to rise. It's a measurement of blood volume that is occupied by red blood cells. I had too many red blood cells, a condition called polycythemia vera. It's potentially life-threatening. Too many red blood cells make your blood too thick. This could lead to a heart attack. Also, thicker blood will clot easier. This could lead to stroke. It's not good. I went to another doctor and hematologist. The treatment for too many red blood cells is to do a phlebotomy, remove some blood. When they remove a pint of the hick blood, my body will make new blood to replace the pint they took. This needed to be done a couple of times a month until the levels of red blood cells came down to an acceptable level. I needed the testosterone to feel normal and like a man, but every time I took my shot, I needed to give blood. I did this cycle for several years. One day, my wife saw an infomercial about acai berry, using it to detox, cleanse and lose weight. We both went online and got one of those offers for a 1-month test. I started taking the pills as directed. After a few days I noticed that I wasn't as hungry as I usually was. The only other thing I noticed was that my morning eliminations became almost effortless. Other than that, I didn't really notice much. It was time for my next appointment with the hematologist. I had been taking the acai for almost 1 full month. My red blood cell count was always too high, near 60-ish, for any physicians who might be reading this. They would take off a pint of blood. This time, the test showed a low level of red blood cells. The doctor asked me if I had changed anything. I told him no. I was still on the testosterone. I made an appointment for a month later. When I got home, I remembered that I had been taking the acai pills. I wondered if maybe the pills had something to do with the change in my blood profile. I had no way to prove my theory, but I ordered another bottle of acai pills and continued to take them religiously. About 3 weeks later I had another appointment with my endocrinologist. On this occasion, my level of testosterone was about twice the normal level for a 25-year-old man. I was 39. My doctor asked me what I was doing to increase my levels of testosterone. I told him nothing. I made another appointment to come back and test again in a month. Fast forward to my next appointment with the endocrinologist. By the time I was at the doctor's office, it had been approximately 8-9 weeks since my last shot. My level of testosterone should have been very low. It was not. In fact, it was high, normal 517 ng/dL. My doctor has no explanation but refuses to acknowledge that the acai has anything to do with it. Since that appointment, I have had several more testosterone tests. My level stays at a normal or high normal. My red blood cell count has remained within normal limits. I feel great. I'm not necessarily saying that acai is responsible for all this, but I'm not saying that it isn't either. If you think you might have low testosterone, you might consider going to a doctor to get it checked out. You probably should look for an endocrinologist or an anti-aging doctor. If you want to give acai a try, you should use only pure acai. Visit www.acaicolon.net for a 1-month trial of pure acai.